Okay, so now this th normally it should be th, but since it's an image, okay, so we'll probably not notice it anyway. Um, but this would have been th really, but you probably not notice it, like I said. So we'll just leave it like that. We'll probably not notice it because look at it, this right here. So this is just for the image. It's not like it's a text. So if it's a text, that would have been very obvious, really. But you can put it here and save, and let's see. Yeah, it's still the same thing. So okay, so but again, T head has TH, not TD. So okay, so the next one is TH. So what are we having for TH? We have um border width and border styles. Okay, and what again? That's all. The border width is 1 pixels, semicolon, border what? Styles is solid. Okay, and then we have TD, semicolon, the coiling bracket. And what do we have here? So we have so TD. Okay, so probably this is quite different. Let me just leave it at TD. I'm just changing back to TD, right? So because I'm saying this now again, this is TH, and this means header, so it's probably going to make it the header. Now it's just a picture, so it probably not make any difference really. That's why we're just having table data there. Okay, so if you want to make a heading within the table header, and even the T body, you can actually have the TH there as well. Okay, so it's both having the same thing. So I noticed that um I want to see this. So TH is probably having something different, which is what text is also having text align right for TH. Text align right for TH. Text align right. And for TD, we're having what? The border width. We'll come to look at most efficient styling as we progress. Then we have border styles, and then we have solid. Okay, so I'm trying to say as much as possible so as not to make any error. So I'll just save this. Okay, so let's see. I think literally that's all. Okay, so let me remove this. Let me try to remove this. Okay, so I'll probably just do this. Okay, so this probably just gonna, you're just gonna watch me, right? Do it. So I would have paused it, but no. So you can see it yourself. The stress I have to go through for you guys. Right? And yes, you all are so amazing. Um, whichever country you're watching from, this you guys are really amazing, really, and you all mean the world to me. Okay, so I have this, and I have no doubt that after coming to Ajiro Tech, you're going to have those A stars, and nobody's going to stop you from achieving that A stars and learners award. Okay, so I have this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think this is for the table. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to preview this in the browser again. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is so that you can see. The reason why I'm previewing again so that we can now compare to see if we have done the right thing. Now, I have not attached yet. Okay, I have not attached yet. So I'm going to save this. Save, come here, and I'm going to attach this right here. Okay, so I'm going to have this right here, the link, the href, and it's going to be what? Ajiro Tech 3.css, and then I have the relationship, which is what? A style sheet. I have the type, which is what? A text forward slash css, and I'll close this. And what I'm going to have here, if I save this, is that if I refresh this, okay, let's check. Okay, something is wrong here. Um, something is wrong here. Okay, so let me do this. It is good that I did this. Let me view the page code. So what did I do here? For the th, oh, this is probably not going to show me this. Okay, so it's fine. It's going to show me the recent one that's been saved. So this is center. The first one was center. The first th was center. Okay, and I have a right. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, now let's look at this. Let's go back to the slide. Okay, so I have a THM that has what? Um, text align right. And I also have one that is center. So for us to ensure that each of these TH is center, I'll probably have to use either a class, to get this done. I can use a class to get this done, or I can use an embedded CSS. But they said what? They said this. They said um, the table are removed and it to become a new external style sheet called this. Attach this to your web page. Okay, so let's see this now because both of them are different. And so one of the things I'm going to focus on right here, I'm going to focus on the width, right? And I will leave the text alignment because again, we have both of them as right and left. So I'm going to remove this, right? I'm going to remove this. Sorry, undo. I'm going to remove this and remove this as well because both of them have the same thing, literally. So most efficient styling. So I'll come here and put th comma td, right? Now if I save this and I come here, it's not going to give me what I want though. So it probably just make it not going to give me what I want. This is going to be center, however, right? But then again, this should be right because this is centered already. Now the reason your th is going to be centered. Now the reason why this will not work is because we want this to be right. So what we'll do here for this, we'll come here, right, and we'll leave it the way it is, right? So each of this would have um, a style. Now let's look at the question. They said we should what? So that the styles in the table th and table data are removed and edited. Now we can also use a class to get this as well, right? We can actually use a class to get this. Let's see, but I've not. Let's see the class. I don't want to watch this because I've not taught you class yet. So what I would do is, if we have time, we'll talk about the class. We'll come back to it. Is I'm going to put this here. text align, right? And I'm going to put right. Come here. If I'm to use a class, that will be super easy. All I have to do is give a dot of any name, and then I would use a class for it. Okay, probably just span across. Okay, so here I'm going to put this text align, right? And I'll come here. There are three, yes. Text align, right. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now, if I come here and I preview my work, so this is fine because again, remember, this will now take precedence, right, over this. But if you look at both of them, um, if you look at both of them, I think that gives us exactly what we want. Literally, that gives us exactly what we want. Okay, so the next one is add comment to a style sheet. Now, although you've often been told to place your name and candidate details as text on the web page, this is not easy in a style sheet. Remember, in a HTML, for comment we have the angle bracket, exclamation mark, angle bracket, exclamation mark, dash dash, the content, dash dash, and then the angle bracket. Right now, here, right, what we use, any text, it's a text placed in a style sheet would often stop the styles from working. So if you place a text, it will stop it from working. So any text must have this. So this is the opening style sheet for it, which is a forward asterisk, power asterisk, and then an asterisk, and then a backward. It's still forward again, asterisk. Okay, so we have the forward asterisk, the forward slash, sorry, the power asterisk, and then we have the asterisk, and then we have the forward slash after it. So this is going to be the text before and then after, so that the browser knows to ignore this. So anything that is placed here will be ignored, and we'll see it as what? It's non-executable. Non-what? Executable. Okay, so this is very important. So let's do this. Open a copy of the web page and style sheet that you have saved in Question 20. Add your name and a brief description of the style sheet as comments to the style sheet. So let's do that. So many things are open here, so I'm just going to close this as well. So let's have question 21. Question 21. Oh, this is right here. So I'm going to open with this. Okay, so they said we should what? Add your name and a brief description. So let me add my name here. So here it's going to be / asterisk my name. Now notice this. Everything is showing green here. If I'm going to launch this, it's not going to work because it's seeing everything as what? Comment. So I have my name here, space, asterisk, / and then I can now give a brief description of this. So this is going to be the style sheets for the table data and table header. Okay, so probably this, then add the asterisk and then a /. So this essentially is what was written here. This is a style sheet that sets the internal grid line of a table to be solid, 4 pixels wide and black. Okay, so literally a description. Okay, a lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the Edexcel, and Cambridge IGCSE. And yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fees really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the Edexcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and Edexcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at agile@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is what I've discussed with the sales team is we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the system. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2025, watching this in 2026, watching this in 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. I probably didn't see it. So again, the style sheet for the table header and table data, that sets the border to be four pixels, 4 pixels wide. Okay, 4 pixels wide and black. Okay, and black. So this is literally it, right? Now you can see that the comment on a single line or more than one line, only one there. So even if I break it down, even if I comment to say, okay, let me break it down, it's still going to be seen as that, as long as it has what the closing word, asterisk, and what forward slash. As long as it has it, it's still going to what show that, right? So this is very important. Now look at this. Look at this, right? Um, the next one is what, question 22. So hope this is clear. Okay, hope this is clear. So I'm going to save this. Now, question 22. Open a copy of the web page that you saved in tax 1. Change the title of this page to Ajiro Tech question 22. Apply the style sheet style 1 to this page and save the web page. Change the style sheet, change the attached style sheet to 2. Save it with a new file name. So many things happening here. So let's do that. I'm going to open question 22. open with, okay, I'm going to add this right here. So I should change what? Change the title of this page to Ajiro Tech Quiz on 22. So what's the text to that? Question 22. And then I have this. So right here, I have my link, href. Okay, so what do I have here? So I have star one, star1.css. I have my relationship, which is going to be what? A style sheet, speech marks, style sheet, and then my type is going to be text forward slash CSS. And if I close this and I save this, I'm going to preview this. So this is probably just showing us what this is. And then I'm going to do the next one. Change this to style 2. Now all of them is in the same folder. So I'll comment to refresh. So this is what we have. Can we see that? Right? So that is what the question is saying. That we should do what? And then change the attached style sheet to and save it with a new file name. Now let's look at this. Now what we have simply done is, this is the first one, right? This right here is the second one, okay? And each of this style sheet is right here, okay, for the styles. Okay, so we have them 1 and 2. So essentially, you will see something like this. This is the same web page again, but with slightly improved style sheet, which has the background color defined in the style sheet. You discover that the web page has taken a new change. Okay, a new change, unlike the one we had before. So this is very important. Okay, CSS text. It is very easy, okay, to create a cascading style sheet in your text editor. Okay, the structure of a .css file has a very simple rules. Okay, the style sheet do not have tags in them. So these are the rules. Please, let's take note of these very simple rules. The style sheet do not have tags in them, as they are not what? A markup language. Each style has what? A style name, which is called what? A selector. Checked. The selector is followed by what? A curly bracket. Checked. Include inside the curly bracket are what? The properties for the styles, and they are called what? Declaration. So that, and each of this declaration has a property name, which is what? Separated by a what? Colon, and then you have your property value. So for example, if you want to set the style h1 to be center aligned, it would appear like this. So again, style h1 to be center aligned, you have this as h1, text align, and then you have center. Take note of the American spelling of what? Center. This is very important. The American spelling of what? Center. Each style has a number of properties and value. If there's more than one property, then we use what we call a semicolon to do it. For example, if you want to set the text in style h1 to be centered aligned, 16 point high and bold, it would appear like this. So we have text align center. The font size is 16. The font weight is what? Bold. Then we have font decoration, which is for underline. If a value within a style sheet contains more than one word, it must be placed in this what? In a speech mark. For example, in the font family, you have more than one word. We have to place it in the speech mark. The reason why we are placing it in the speech mark is so that the browser can see it as what? One word. That's the whole reason. Now, if a value within a style contains more than one word, right, it must be placed in speech marks like this. So if a value in a style contains multiple and then saved in a CSS format, so this is very important. Okay, now very crucial. There's some things I want to talk about. This is very, very crucial, and that means specify what? The font properties. That's what we mean. Specify what? The font properties. Now we have the font value, the font family. This font family is very important. Now I'll probably need to do this. I want everyone to listen to see this. Now individual fonts can be specified, but these are not always available in all browsers, sadly. So there are numbers of what generic font families. We have the serif, the sans serif, which can also be used, right? These font families, apart from the serif and sans serif, we have what we call the cursive, fantasy, and monospace. These font families have what we call proportional word spacing. Very important. So apart from the serif and sans serif, you probably see cursive, fantasy, and what fantasy, and then what monospace. The generic font family must always be listed after the other word preferred font. The family must contain must always be listed, like I said, after this. The font family property must contain what we call what? A hyphen. Okay. Notice this, right? The font family properties. Now you probably see this. This is what we're talking about, a hyphen here. You see this, right? This is quite different when we talk about the other ones here, which is what your um the font each of the fonts, which is what your Times New Roman. Okay, so font family is set so that New Times Roman, it is in speech mark in the style sheet because there are spaces in the font name, right? There are spaces in the font name, right? But here you see that each of the font family have what we call what? They must contain what we call what? A what? Hyphen, right? Now, if it cannot be found, it would specify any generic font that is available. It's a good practice to always offer the browser two or more different font families and a generic font type. Either is serif, either is sans serif, either is cursive, either is fantasy, either is monospace. They're usually a window font or a Mac OS. The order that these values are placed within the font family declaration is important as the browser will try to locate the first font in the list. If that is not available in the system being used, then it looks for the font in the list until if none of these fonts are available, it would finally reach the generic what font type, which is going to be serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, or monospace. When this happens, the browser will display the font family that it has been stored for the generic what type. Let's look at this. Okay, so now let's look at this. A serif font is one that has what? A small line or stroke called serif at the end of what each characters like this. A font that does not contain serif is known as what? Sans serif, which is what? Straight edges. So you probably see something like this, and that's why we have what? The Times New Roman. Now let's look at this. Now we have question 23, right? And I'm going to do this. It says open a copy of the last web page that you saved in question 2022. Create a new style sheet called serif.css that set all the styles at generic serif font. Apply this to your web page, view the web page in your browser, change generic font to a different generic font style, save it with a new name, try all of them to see how they look like. This is very important. And I'm probably going to show you. This means for H1, H2 that we saved in question 22. So let's open question 22. I have question 22 here. This is it right here. So I'm going to show you this. Now let me check. Have I done everything for you? In the source file, have I done everything? I have a knack of just doing everything. So I think I've done everything. So I have monospace, I have sans serif, I have serif. What else again? I have fantasy, I have courtesy. So what we'll be doing is we're going to be applying all of them, and so that we can actually see how they look like. So let me open question 23. Do I have question 23? Are we still using? So I have question 23 here. So I'm going to open with, right, the Microsoft Expression Web 4. This is it right here. And I'm going to probably close the rest, right? I'm going to close the rest. So now let's look at this. So I'll probably do this. Let me see. I have, I want to be sure. So I have, what do I have here? So I have Q. Okay, I'll start with the serif. Okay, Q23 underscore serif. I want to be sure. Yes, that's what I'm working with. So here is going to be Q23 underscore what? Serif. And I'm going to what? Save. Now, I'll come here. Let's preview this. Right? Let's preview this. This is the serif. You can see the little ticks it's having. Now, let's do the sans serif. And let's see the difference. Let's do the sans serif. So I have what? The sans serif. So I'm going to save. And then I'm going to what? Preview. Refresh. Okay, I'm not sure that's the I'm not sure that's the sans serif. How did I save the sans serif? Let's look at it. Okay, sans serif. Okay, okay. Let me see. That should be it. Let me check this. Oh, it's empty. Okay, it's empty. Let me check the serif as well. Is it empty? Let me check the serif. So it's also empty. Sorry. It's also empty. I didn't check it. It's empty. So what I would do is right here on the serif. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign all this. So let's go back to the question. So what we are doing here is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and P. We're assigning all of them to serif. Okay. So I have H1, space, curly bracket. I have H3, H4, right? The calling bracket, font family, right? Font family, and I have what? Serif, semicolon, and I'll come here to what? H5, right? So the calling bracket, font family, and I have what? Serif, semicolon. So I'll come here to what? H6, okay? The calling bracket, I have the font family, okay? And I have what? The serif. Now I'm going to save this. Okay, there's one more. Okay, there's one more. I think I see a paragraph there. Calling bracket, font family. Okay, save. Okay, so now let's look at this. What else? I think let's look at the code itself. So I have paragraph and H1 to H6. That's what I have. The HTML tags is H1 to H6 and paragraph. So what I would do is I would just Control A and then Control C, right? And I will save this. Now let's go back. So let's preview our work, literally. Let's preview our work. So I'll come here and I'll refresh. So we'll probably have it because definitely that is that. So I'll come here to the sans serif and I'll paste it and I'll change this to what? The sans serif. Okay, I'll change this to the sans serif. Change this to the sans serif. Okay, sans serif. Change this here to sans serif. Change it to sans serif. Okay, dash. Change this to sans serif, right? and change this to what? Sans serif. I'll probably show you a faster way on how to do this. So I'm going to save this for the sans serif, and I'll come here and then do the sans serif, right? I'll do the sans serif, and I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to refresh. So look at the difference. Can you see difference now? So you can see the difference right about now. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do for the courtesy. Courtesy. So I'm going to do for courtesy. Okay, I'm going to do for courtesy. So I have this courtesy, and I'm going to hold my control. If you hold your control and then click on it, it's going to open the CSS for you. Okay, that's if it's there. Look at it now. You notice that I didn't have to open this as well. So all I had to do was to hold my control and click on it. It's going to open the hyperlink for me, and I can paste this. So all I can do is Control H, right? What am I finding? I'm finding serif, right? Control H to find and replace, and then this is one of the beauty you have on the WYSIWYG, and then I'm going to do courtesy, save, and I'm going to what? Replace all. So this is done, which is a faster way. And yes, I know, sorry. Okay, why make me go through all the stress? I know, sorry. Okay, but I hope we're having a good time. So again, once you save the CSS, you will now need to save the HTML. So I'm going to save this, and then change this to Cosy. I've done that already. So if I come here and I refresh this, this is the Cosy. Okay, so I'm going to do the next one, which is what? Fantasy. Yes, fantasy. Okay, so I'm going to hold my control, click on it, and I'm going to paste this. Control H, find the self, and this is going to be replaced with what? Fantasy. So this is just going to make our work easy. Replace all because we want to try out each of them. So I'm going to save this, come here to the HTML, save it as well, and then if you come here to refresh, you have the fantasy. And then we have the next one, which is what? Monospace. So I'll come here and then do monospace. Control, click on this. It's going to open. I'll paste this. Control H, replacing the cells with what? Monospace. Okay, I'm going to click on what? Replace all. So if I save this, I'll save this. Come into question 3 and I'll save this. Now if I come here, I can what? Refresh. Okay, so I'm going to what? Refresh this. So this is what we mean here when we are applying all this together. Okay, so now we verify by checking the original document with your typed copy to see the difference here. So this is very important. Now one of the things I want to show you is, yes, I'm fully aware there is other ways to actually do this. That means there's what we call group style definitions. Now let me explain what that means. Now, as all style have the same values for the font family properties, we can now group. And this is what you expect to do your exam. You're not expected to do all the things I'm doing. Just type them on. It's not the most efficient styling. No, it's not the most efficient. So we need to do what we call a group style definition. So you can group all the styles together, and you can now change the value only once. Now, this style sheet can be simplified to this single line, right? It can be simplified to this. So I'll probably show you one on monospace, and then we can now see this. So here you can have comma h2 comma h3 comma space h4 comma space h5 comma space h6 comma space p, because we have all of them as the same value. So I'll do this, right? And I'm going to save my work. Now if I save this and I come here, because it's still on monospace, right? If I come here and I refresh, you will see that it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. Okay, so this is very important. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across um, other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the edXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and edXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at agile@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is what I've discussed with the sales team is we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Agile Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So, again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the system. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2024, watching this in 2026, watching this in 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out. Question 24. Open a copy of the web page that you saved in style that you saved in question 23. Create a new style called Agile Tech 4.css. I think I've done that for you already. Agile Tech 4. So yeah, have it here. Right click, open. Open it. Okay, so yes, it's blank. So that all styles, so that all styles that set all the styles, so that the font to Butchert MS is used. If it's not available, then set it to Aria. If this is not available, then use the browser's default sans serif. So let's see how we can do this. Now in question 23, am I in question 23? Yes. So this is Agile Tech 4. So what I will do here is I'm going to change this to, sorry, question 24. Question 24. Hope we're having a good time. Mhm. So question 24, I'm going to open this to Microsoft Expression Web. So we have this. I'm going to close all this, really. Close this, close this, close this. But are we really learning? Are we having a good time here? Just let me know in the comment section, because trust me, we're having a good time here. This is probably the first time you're learning the website authoring, and you're learning all codes, right? So this is actually good, because again, it's good for you to learn everything. So I'm going to come here, and I'm doing the link, right? href, and then I have what? Ajiro Tech 4.css, and the relationship here is going to be what? Style sheet, and the type here is going to be text forward slash css, and then I'll close this. Now here, what I'm doing here as much as possible is the font family. So I'm coming here to say, okay, P1, H1, all the same. So I'll come here to say H1, comma, H2, comma, H3. Now there's something I want to talk about here. You can decide to put them together. You can decide to space them. It's still going to work, right? It's still going to work. So this is very important. All right. So let's get back to it. So here I have comma space H4, comma space H5, comma space H6, comma space P. And then I have the calling bracket, and then I have what? Font family. The font family, yes, is going to be what? So what's that name here? Okay. Permit me to copy this. I'm going to copy it right here. Now, I don't have it, so I'm going to put it in double speech marks. Well, you have to put in double speech and paste because there are two words, comma. Then the next one is what? The next one is what? The next one is area. So space, I have area, okay, space, what's there? Sans serif, okay, sans serif, okay. So now we have this, okay. So we have this. So I'm going to save this, right? Come here, and I'm going to save this. So now if I preview this on our browser, this is what we're going to have at the end of the day. Now I want to show you something. Now if this was to be your panels manage styles, right, and then let's modify it. Now if we modify this, you would see this right here. Can you see this? So it means we're correct. Okay, it means we're correct. So this is very important. Okay. Okay, I think I closed it, but it's fine. Control, open it. Okay, it's right here. Okay, it's already right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here, now let's look at the breakdown. Let's look at the breakdown. They said you will notice that the trebuchet ms has been included in speech marks, and it's more than one word, right? That there is a comma used to separate each value within the word font family declaration. So if you notice here, you would see that we did what? We used what? A comma to separate each of them. Okay. Carefully verify by checking the original document with your typed copy. Save the file using this. Font size. Okay, font size. Now there's something I want to talk about here when we talk about the font size. So let me clean this. Now, the font size property must contain a hyphen and can be followed by an absolute what? Height. By setting values relative to what? Each other or a mixture of both. Okay. Now, absolute values can be used to set the numbers of points. It can be points. It can be points. It can be pixels for each character. The sizes specified are set as numbers with pt. So for font size, we use what? The point to show that it is what? Pt to show that it's in point. Okay, so this is important. Alternatively, the font size can be measured in pixel. So don't be surprised if they ask you that the font size should be in pixel. And pixel means what? PC. If they say it should be in pixels, pixels mean what? Px. Other absolute values include in, which means what? Inches. cm for what? Centimeters. For what? Millimeters. So even if at default, if they say the font size, you have what? Your pt, which is what? Point. But if they specify for other ones like your pisca, which is pc, your pixels, which is px, your cm, which is centimeters, your which is millimeters, it is very important to know them. Do not place a space between. This is very important. Do not place a space between the number and the what abbreviation what measurement. So they must be what together, and they are same for what the height. I earlier said that because again it is what for the height by what absolute what height. Let's look at this. Question 25. Open a copy of the web page, okay, and style sheet that you have saved in question 24. Edit the style sheet so that style H1 is 36 and H2 is what 24. H3 is 18 points. H4. Okay, so let's do that. So this is going to be what? Question 25. Let's open question 25. Open with, right? And Ajiro Tech 5.css. So this Ajiro Tech 5, Ajiro Tech 5.css. So I'm going to open this. Open with, I'm going to open the Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to close this. I'll close this. Also close this as well. Close this. Close this. So right here, I'm going to add what? The link. So we have the href, which is what? Ajiro Tech what? 5.css. Okay. So I have what? The relationship, which is what? The style sheet. Right? And I have what? The type, which is what? Text / CSS. Okay. So I have this. So now I'm going to what? It's already opened already. So I'm going to save it. And right here, let's look at it. So this is what? H1. So H1 is what? What font size is H1? So I have the font size here. So I'll come here. Let's check. For H1 is 36 points. So 36 pt. And then let's look at H2. Right? H2 is this. Font size. 24 points. So I have 24 pt, semicolon, and then I have H3. I have this font size, 18 points. H4, okay, semicolon, 16. Font size, 16 points. So we have H4 16. H5 is 15. H5. Calling bracket, font size, H5 is 14. And then we have what? H6. Calling bracket, font size. Okay. And then we have what? H, let me see. H6, we have 12 points. Right? We have 12 points. And what else again? The paragraph styles. So we have the paragraph styles here. Right? So add my calling bracket, the font size. Font size is spelled this. And this is going to be what? This is going to be 10. Okay. Change these settings to try and get similar result using the settings for pixels. Then the numbers will depend on your monitor display setting for pixel, inches, centimeters, and millimeters. So what we'll probably do here is I'm going to save this. Now let me preview this. I'll preview this and then we can see the difference. So this is it right here. So now what I'm going to do here is right here, I'm going to change this to PT to PC, which is Pisca, right? So I'm going to, yes, that will make my whole process easy for me. So I'm going to save, and then we can just check the work. So let's look at it. This Pisca. Oh my God. This is not good. Right? We're just playing with it literally. And then we have this, and then we have we're replacing PC with pixels, right, which is PX, and then let's replace all. And I'm going to save. Hope we're having fun with this, right? I'm going to refresh this. Okay, not bad. Okay, so the next one is I'm going to do this, which is IN. The IN is for what? Inch. So I'm replacing PX with inch, which is for inches. So I would replace all, and I would save this. So I'm going to refresh. Oh God, this is okay. So we are actually learning. So did we change anything here? Let me see. I want to be sure that we did. Okay, I just want to be sure. So the next one is CM, right? Which is, so I will change the in to what? CM, which is centimeters. Replace all, and then we'll look at it. So I'm going to save, and if I come here, I refresh. Okay, so we can actually see them in these centimeters. It's too big. Okay, so um, I would change the centimeter here, and I'll change it to what? Mm, and I'll replace all. Okay, so now I would refresh this. So did I save it? No, I didn't save it. So let me save it. Save, and I'll come here, and I'm going to what? Refresh all. So this is what we have at the end of the day. So I'm probably just take this to mm, and then change this to point. Okay, so we've been able to experiment with all of the measurement units. Okay, I've been able to experiment with all of the measurement what unit right here. So I'm going to refresh this. Okay, so I have this. Now, because all of these font settings are different, in this case, it is more sensible to keep all the settings for the styles together. Okay, it is more sensible to keep all the styles together. It is possible to produce a style sheet giving this result like this. Now, they are not the same, so probably you are not doing a group styling here as well. Now, this works, so does keeping the style diffusion together like this. So now what we can do is we can now split them in such a way that um, we have some things that are similar. That simply means that we can now put them individually. So we have, there's H1, H1, H2, H2, H3, H3, H4, H4, right? We can now split them together like this. So, and this will give us the same reading. So here, we had H1, H2, so now we can now split them. H1 will be with the font family, with the font size, this will be this will be this. So you can pause the video and then try it out. Now it's still the same thing. I'll probably just show you one, and then so here what we are simply saying is under this H1, you can come here to add what? A font family like this. Okay, font family, and then you can come here to double speech marks, right? Do this, trebuchet, right? MS, comma, area, then comma, sans serif. Okay, and then put semicolon. That's what we are simply saying for you to do. So you can just do that for each of them. So that means that if I'm doing this, I have to remove H1. If I'm going to leave it, I'm going to have to remove H1. So when you do this thing, you cannot remove. Once you've replaced each of them like this, you cannot remove this one. That's what we are simply saying here. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'll just probably undo this so we can go ahead Okay, so I'm undoing the work. So I'm going to save. Okay, now the next thing we want to talk about is font size, font style, or class within a style can be aligned in one of four different ways. You can use the text align properties to format the text so that it is left aligned, centered aligned, right aligned, or fully justified. Okay, and we have them here. So right here you see that we have text align center, text align right, text align left. Okay, okay, so let's look at this. So question 26, open the file saved in tax 2 at the top of the page and add a new title aligning text in style H1. Create a new style sheet called align.css. Set the heading style, set the heading style H1 to be centered aligned, set the H2 to be right aligned, and so we have this. So let's open question 26. Question 26. Let's open question 26. Okay. Open with Microsoft Expression Web. Okay. So what are we doing here? So this is align.css, right? Align.css. So I have this right here, right? I have my link, href, okay, align.css, relationship, style sheet, type, right? I have text forward slash css, and I'll close this. Now if I hold my control to open this, you see that what we can now put this. So here, what are we doing? We're having h1. So I'll come here, set my h1, right? So this is text align, right? Text align. I'm having what for the h1? What is it called? The h1 is what? Center. So this is going to be what? Center. Okay. Then what about h2? Okay, so h2, let me see. H2 is right align. H2 is right align. So this is going to be right here. Text align. Text align. Right, is going to be right. And then we have P, which is for paragraph. Right, text align. So this is going to be left. Okay, left. So I'll put my semicolon here, and I'll put my semicolon here. So I'm going to save this, and I will save this as well. So let's preview the browser and let's see what we have done. So this is what we have. So you can see that what do we have here? That we had H2 to the right. Is that to be correct? H2 to the right. H1 is center. But let's see. H1 is center, and we don't have. They said what? Um, they said at the top of the page, add a new title aligning text in H1. Okay, aligning text in H1. Let me see. They said add a new title. Okay, aligning text in H1. Okay, so it's going to be right here, right? So this is going to be H1, right? And then we have aligning what? Text. Okay, we're going to have aligning text. Okay, so in H1. So I'm going to save it. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll refresh in H1. So what is H1? Let's look at it. What is H1? H1 is what? Center. And we're not having H1 to be center. Let me refresh. Let me check. Oh, okay. So this is important, right? The spelling, they said it's marked invalid. Now, it's the American spelling. Please take note. Important colors and center American spelling. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to refresh. So now we have it. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so this is important. Hope we're learning. Okay. All right. enhance text within a style sheet. How do we enhance the text within a style sheet? Now, I'll show you this. Now, you've already used um, the colors and background colors. This is a dash here. Okay, a dash here for background color. Properties to enhance text in earlier question. So we will study this enhancement in more details in the slide. Other enhancements are available, including to embolding, that is to make bold, which is your font weight, to make italics, okay, and then underscore to underline text. Each of these uses a different properties, but the default values of these three enhancements is set to what? Normal. To get bold, what do we do? The font weight to get bold. To get italics, what do we do? We set the font style property to what? So this is going to be our font styles, italic. To underline text, what do? We do text decoration. So again, so you see this here. This is font weight, font style, and then for the underline we have what? Text what? Decoration. Okay, so this is very important. So let's look at this. Question 27. Let's look at question 27. Right? Let's look at question 27, and this is the last one for this episode, and then we would end. So question 27, they said, create a new style sheet called Ajiro Tech 6.css. So I'm going to open question 27, open with Ajiro Tech. So we're going to open what? Since they're in the same folder, I don't have to just open them differently. I can just come here to do what? Open it here. So I can close so many things here. I can close this. I can close this. I'll probably have to close this really, right? And I can close this as well. So I'll come here, right? So at the beginning of this, hit on enter. I have my link, href, and then what do I have? I have Ajiro Tech 6.css. I have the relationship. It's going to be a style sheet. I have the type. It's going to be text / css, and I have this. So I'm going to save this and I'll open this here, literally. So what do we have here? They said um, this style sheet will set h1 to bold. Okay, so h1 to bold. Italics 18 points. So let's do this. This is h1 here, and this to bold. So that's font weight. Okay, bold. And then we have what? What's the next one? Italics. That's font style, right? So we have what? Italic, right? And then we have let's see, what's the next one? 18 points. That's font size. So that have 18 pt semicolon. If Times New Roman is not available, that's font family. Okay, so that's font family. So again, double speech marks. Okay, double speech marks, and I have Times New Roman, comma space. So if Times New Roman is available, the browser will use that. Otherwise, it will choose Times. So this is just one word, so I'm going to use Times. Otherwise, it's going to use what? The browser default serif font. So serif, okay, semicolon. I make this what? Make this text center. So that's text align. It's going to be what? Center. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now let's preview question 27 here. Let's preview it. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Okay, so this is what we're having. So you can see that each of them is, there's italics, there's bold, there's 18 point, what else? And there's center as well, right? Okay, so this is very important. So we're going to stop here